All right, I've been watching a lot of videos pop up on my screen, and I don't know what's going on. Last time I seen this many videos on the topic pop up was when Alec Baldwin shot them people on the set of Rust. But there's a lot of videos coming up talking about people holding their single actions like this, and that you know you should practice safe trigger discipline, this and that. A single action by design like this is not the easiest to cock back like that. Plus, in order to safely put the hammer down, you have to have your finger on the trigger. If I'm holding this gun with my finger on the trigger, as long as this hammer does not get pulled back, this gun can never, ever, ever, ever fire. Period. It can't accidentally discharge. None of that. So I treat a single action as I keep my thumb off the hammer until I'm ready to shoot. So you'll see me while I'm talking and holding it and everything else like this. My thumb doesn't come up to shoot unless I'm going to cock it or shoot it. We'll use this as an example. This is a double action revolver. This one's hammerless. But this one, if you have your finger on the trigger, if you have your finger on the trigger and pull it, it's going to shoot. That's all there is to it. This is a double action, single action pistol. So if the hammer's cocked, safety's on, it won't fire. But if that safety's off, you touch the trigger, it'll fire. You could have an accidental discharge. Same thing, if you've got your finger on the trigger and you pull it, it can fire. The 1911, even though it's a single action, just because it is a semi-automatic, I always try and remember trigger discipline in that. But much like this cannot go off. No matter what I do, this cannot go off if I don't pull the hammer back. This cannot go off no matter what I do unless I pull the hammer back. So on a single action, it really doesn't matter if your finger is on the trigger, period, at all, because unless you cock the hammer back, a single action cannot go off no matter what you do. So I think that's why you see a lot of guys with these single action revolvers holding them like this, even when they're loaded in that, because the single action by design isn't going to have an accidental discharge, can't fire, or anything else unless you use the hammer. So for me, I consider on any single action the hammer as the trigger. Your thumb or anything else should never touch the hammer unless you're getting ready to fire or cock it. I keep these when I load them up on an empty chamber. So in order to cock it, with this, if the chamber's empty and the mag's full, I have to cock it to get it to load. On this one, there's no slide or nothing, so if it's resting on an empty chamber, then my thumb has to come up to cock it. Now it's ready to shoot. As long as that thumb is never on that hammer, there's no way you can have an accidental discharge with one of these unless, even if it's loaded, unless you do something with that hammer. That trigger is nothing. That trigger never does anything, won't do anything, can't do anything until that hammer's cocked. So, I don't know. Just my thoughts on it. I was always taught when I'm handling single actions, I handle them like this. Everything else, I handle like this. Or this. Just how I do it. This is my Colt Fit Special. That's 38 Special. What I used to demonstrate the double action revolver. Taurus PT92. I use that to demonstrate the double action semi-auto. And then you guys have seen this before, my Delta Elite clone for the single action semi-auto. Hope everybody has a great day.